see right here, we're on the Sisters Ranger District of the Deschutes National Forest, and it's a really wonderful May day to visit the District of Death. And I call Sisters the District of Death because every pathogen we study in this class can be found out here in Sisters. Now, of course, you look around, there are plenty of trees here, but we do see in this spot we're at right here that there is a hole in the canopy over here, that there are a number of live overstory trees, but that there are some dead trees on the ground and evidence of recently fallen trees. Now, there is prescribed burning, or at least back burning from a wildfire that has occurred here, so that's part of that. But there are other things going on, and if we look closely, we start to see that there are indeed some pathogens. And over here in this tree, we have one that's on your required list. All right, so the host species here is grand fir or grand fir white fir hybrid. This tree is dead, so this pathogen is growing in a recently killed tree, and we know it's recently killed because it has still some red needles on it. But if we look at the upper crown, 95% of the needles are gone. So what is this? Small 1 to 2 inch leathery conchs, and if we remove a conch, and the conchs are certainly removable, we find that the conch has no apparent spore-bearing surface. It's, as I said, leathery, and then if we take and remove a bit of this lower piece, we find that there is indeed a spore-bearing surface hidden inside a sac. Okay? So right there, this conch and the fact that the spore-bearing surface is hidden inside this sac should give you enough clues to identify this. All right, now you should have come up with Cryptoporus vulvatus, also known as pouch fungus, or gray saprot, or gray-brown saprot, lots of different common names. Again, this is why we learn the Latin. So Cryptoporus, hidden holes, vulvatus of a sac. So hidden holes inside a sac is how that almost literally translates. So these conchs right here, this larger one was grown last spring. This right here, this small reddish-brown bump is a conch from this year. So we have at least 1-year-old conchs on the tree. And if we find conchs that are white in color and broken open and maybe with some wormholes in them like they've been eaten by insects, those would be 2-year-old conchs. Okay, so we see that this tree's got lots of Cryptoporus conchs on it. We know that the saprot is active inside the tree. Is that what killed the tree? You should remember from your reading that Cryptoporus is typically found in trees that have been killed by other causes. So now we need to investigate what other causes do we potentially have here. And back to our discussion about the stand and this hole in the stand with ceanothus growing in it and down logs and trees with different stages of death and dying. So what does a hole in the canopy occupied by hardwood species of shrubs with trees surrounding that hole or opening that are in different stages of death or dying, what would that indicate to you as far as a category of pathogen? All right, you should have come to the conclusion, probably root disease. This is a classic root disease symptom with trees in different stages of death and dying. And now to then further narrow it down to which root disease is killing these trees, we need to look at the trees and the decay itself. So we're going to take this tree, this heavily infected with the Cryptoporus, And we're going to go ahead and remove a little bark and see if we can find a clue to what root disease it might be.